So this is Estacio. Welcome back to the Heartwork podcast. He is a real estate agent. I know him based on just being Chelsea's brother. So
Hey,
seeing
what's up?
you being a real estate
Yeah.
agent and connecting in that way was so nice. So thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm happy to be
Definitely
here.
share, of
Yeah.
course, anything else that you do on the side or anything that you're all about.
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy to be Chelsea's brother. Like every time I go like somewhere, they'd be like, "Hey, I know you're Chelsea's brother, right? You guys look alike."
Yeah.
Um. So yeah. So my name is Geovani. Um. Yeah, and I'm 32 years old. Um. I do real estate,
Definitely check out
and
his real estate stuff. I'm gonna put all your real estate like
mhm,
accounts, your YouTube, anything that you want out there. I'm definitely gonna put it on the description so people can
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
follow you and stuff.
for sure.
This week's podcast episode is going to be a little bit different. It's talking all things love, whether it be platonic relationships, romantic relationships, and just seeing that kind of like perspective from your point of view. Especially this is nice too because
Yeah,
it's girl versus like guy
yeah.
perspective.
It's
And
like
this
very uncomfortable because I'm not like used to like opening up like this or like talking about this type of stuff.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
uncomfortable in a good way because like I like being uncomfortable.
All
So
right, very nice. Thank you so
I
much
like
for like opening up because everybody that I've messaged,
yeah,
oh my goodness,
the,
everyone's like, I don't want to do it. I don't think I could ever really step out of my comfort zone like that and share my opinion. But I was like, it's just a conversation. It's literally, who knows if anybody's gonna be like driven or not driven by it or
mhm.
offended or not offended. It's just like talking, it's just getting to know one another for everybody else to kind of also get an idea or a perspective of what other people feel or think,
Yeah,
and opening up that perspective for them.
and that's good. It's good to talk to have conversations. I feel like that's something that is getting lost in today's age.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people don't want to talk,
Oh my god,
so
I agree.
like I enjoy talking, even if it's uncomfortable. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like one of my favorite subjects, even though like it kind of like it could be how you say like it could like not lead to conflict, but it could make people like upset. It's like
Yeah,
I
or
love
agreeing
talking
to
about like
disagree.
politics and religion stuff
Oh my god.
because
And
I love agreeing and disagreeing.
I
Like
was
I
gonna
love
say, like, even when you
yeah
asked me about speaking about politics, at first I was like, oh, like, that's such a touchy
yeah
subject for people. Because this might be a touchy subject, but it's
hmm
so, like, I don't know, I feel like it's a little more subjective compared to politics. I feel like it's more like, oh, she believes in that. I can't agree with
hmm
her. And it's just like, it's also subjective, but people look at it in such a like side,
hmm
like there's sides to it, and I'm just like, there is no sides. It's just
yeah
the way you should look at it is just being open to everybody else's view, like even with religion too.
exactly
Some people believe in God, some people believe in the universe, some
yeah
people
yeah
believe in the Buddha.
right
And so it's just like you gotta be open to it. You can't really criticize or judge somebody
yeah
based on what they believe. Sometimes it's even passed down through generations of family. Sometimes it's just the way that they like made their own path
hmm
through religion and what they already knew that didn't sit right with them. That's kind of how I am. Like, I started off with my mom being super Catholic. At first, we were Jehovah's Witness.
yeah
And then we moved from that because she was like, you know what? I want to baptize my child. And
hmm
she moved into the Catholic religion. She baptized me. And they hated her
they
in the
did
Jehovah's Witness. They were like, hell no.
yeah
She was supposed to like be one of us. And she literally ruined the whole like how they lived, how they
right
all the beliefs that they had.
hmm
So then she became Catholic. And then once we moved to the United States, I remember her telling me like,
where are you from?
I'm from Mexico.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
What
I
part?
came here when I was 6. I'm from Veracruz.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I've been
and it
to
was just me
yeah,
and my mom.
I've been to Cancun.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was a good
Most people,
time.
that's exactly where they go. I want to go back, and I actually want to visit Tulum. I
Oh,
feel
okay,
like I
okay,
hear a
okay.
lot about
Yeah, it's
it.
nice.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
visit once I have
I'm
my
a
paperwork
big
all set
fan
up.
of Antonio Aguilar.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this. So I'm from Cali, Colombia, right?
Yeah.
But in Cali, like at least like the old people, right? When they used to get drunk, like first it was salsa, but then like later at night, like they would put like rancheros. They're
Yeah.
like big fans of like Vicente Fernandez, like Antonio Aguilar, and they would
Nice.
like listen to rancheros and drink. So my grandfather was like a big Antonio Aguilar like fan,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
know a lot of his songs like through him. and I grew up
Okay.
listening. So
Yeah, no, honestly,
yeah,
once you get into like that drunk stage throughout
yeah,
the
yeah,
night where you're like feeling you're in your
yeah, yeah,
feelings, yo, those songs hit.
yeah.
Everybody listens to those songs.
Yeah, Mexican culture is pretty cool. You guys have like a lot of
Yeah.
passion in you guys. So
Oh my God,
yeah,
so much. I definitely agree with that. And I also agree with the music feeling that
hmm,
passion through that music.
yeah,
So that's nice that you like are
yeah.
open to all those kinds of
Oh,
musics.
definitely. When it
Even
comes to
now.
music, I'm universal. I
Yeah,
listen to
yeah.
everything: rock, salsa,
Good,
even
good.
like jazz.
Me
You
too.
know.
I've been open to a lot more different genres. Like in
Yeah.
the beginning I was just sticking to my R&B
Hmm.
music. Now little by little, and even now I feel like people are getting more into like the Peso Pluma era,
Yeah.
like all that kind of you know, tapa, what is it called? What kind of genre is that? I forget.
Which one?
I'm Mexican and I even forget like the
Um.
Peso Pluma, like Ella Baila Sola and all that.
Yeah. One.
That's I have it in my
Bandas.
playlist. I think there's a
Yeah.
different name to it. Um, Honestly, it's probably just música mexicana,
Yeah.
but
So maybe.
all that kind of music is like pop. Yeah, it just says música mexicana, but it's just popping right now. Like everyone loves it.
Yeah. Music is like dope. There's like a time and place for like every type of song.
Yeah,
Like sometimes I feel like in the mood for like like um bachata, or sometimes I feel in the mood for like like salsa, like like it kind of goes how you feel.
yeah.
You know.
You know what else I've heard?
But
And this is a good way to kind of like dive into the whole love aspect. I watch a lot of
mhm.
podcasts. There was one girl that had been talking about romanticizing your sadness
Yeah.
and how a lot of people do that through music. Like
Hmm.
you will literally get into a heartbreak and then you'll listen to a shit ton of
Yeah.
sad
Yeah. Yeah.
music and you romanticize all your sad like
Hmm.
moments and like your heartbreak, and she's like, stop doing that. Like everyone has to
Yeah.
stop
Yeah.
doing that because then you just like bringing back those feelings. You'll never get out of them. Like you're
Hmm.
stuck in a trap. And I do feel that like with music, even now I'm like, the more I listen to certain sad songs, it's like subconsciously reminding
Hmm.
me of like how sad I am or whatever feeling I'm going
Yeah.
through, compared to when you're listening to hype music or
Hmm.
like beats that just uplift you and like put you in the
Yeah.
gym mode. Like you listen to certain music at the gym and you're pushing
Hmm.
through. Like
Hmm.
it gives you that extra pump without even realizing it. And I do think that whatever you listen to is definitely has an effect on who or how you feel mentally.
Yeah. So I get your friend. It's like a double sword because I guess like when you're feeling like some type of way and you listen to like a certain type of music, like it feels good because
Yeah.
like you're like expressing yourself or letting like your feelings out. But at the same time, when you keep listening to it, like you stop from like moving on. Like you kind of stay there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And especially when certain songs bring back certain
Hmm.
memories too,
Right.
like you could stay stuck in that memory of like
Hmm.
listening to it over and over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
But that's just like a little overview of music
Yeah.
and what
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 it
what
feels.
what was your favorite sad song?
My favorite sad song currently, actually, currently it has to be Un Por Ciento by Bad Bunny and Grupo Frontera.
Oh,
I've
okay,
been
okay.
really into like the
Yeah, yeah,
Mexican music.
yeah.
It's either that or also Omar Apollo, Want
Hmm.
You Around, also a sad song.
Nice.
But I'm all over the place too. Like there's like certain shit that I like that's
Yeah,
super
yeah.
poppin', like Where She Goes by Bad Bunny. And then there's things like Never Felt So Alone by Labyrinth. It's like a mix of one or the other. And then in betweens, just like having Ice Spice. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
But what about for you?
So since we're talking about Mexican music, my favorite Mexican ranchera sad song is Señora Cantinera by Antonio
Okay.
Aguilar.
I don't think I have
No,
listened to
it's a
that one,
dope song.
but
It's a
I'm
dope
gonna have
song.
to listen to
It's
it.
very like kind of like it makes you sing your heart out,
I love it. Okay.
and it's one of those songs that talking about heartbreaks and stuff that you could relate to,
Yeah.
and like I was saying, like it feels good because you could relate to that. But yeah,
Nice. You know what I was gonna ask you? In regards to like
hmm,
now that we're getting into music and like the sad songs, like
yeah.
are you in a relationship? So what's your
Um,
relationship status?
right now, no, no, I'm single.
You're
Yeah,
single.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then to dive right into it, do you think exes can be friends?
No, hell no.
No.
Do you think exes could be
I
friends?
do think
Really? You
so.
think so?
So one
Yeah,
of
yeah.
my exes, but this is like from high school.
Uh huh.
We were a thing for like maybe a year and a half, and then we stopped talking. Like he went to college. I
Yeah.
was still in high school when he was in his first year of college, and then just life
Mhm.
kind of just separated us, but we still kept same friend, like mutual friends.
Yeah.
And this past year was like really when we started to
But
become friends
but I
again.
have a question. Who broke up
Yeah.
with who though? You broke up with them, or he broke up with you?
I kind of hurt him, and
Oh, okay,
then
okay,
we
okay.
tried to like rekindle,
Yeah, yeah.
but
What do you do
we
to him?
both
If you don't
hurt.
mind me asking. I'm a
So what I
curious
do,
guy.
I was still kind of like
Yeah.
caught up in my last relationship.
Oh, okay, okay,
So my
okay.
feelings for this person were like in and out,
Hmm.
and it kind of broke. That's kind of what broke
Yeah.
us.
So you were dating someone while you still had feelings for someone else?
Yes.
That's fucked
And
up.
you know what's crazy? I
Yeah.
remember when we first started to
Yeah.
like get into a relationship, I knew that I had felt feelings still for my
Hmm.
like the other person that I was dating before. And I
How
had
how long
mentioned
ago
it.
had you broken up from that other person though?
Oof, like literally I had no like I had no break. I
Oh,
didn't
okay,
know what
okay,
a break
okay. Yeah,
was.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I went from one relationship
To the
right
other
into the
one.
next one. And I feel like that's a common thing for people too. Like
Yeah.
when they're really hurt, they don't know how to like fix anything. They're so not used to being alone that they just jump right
I,
into
I,
whatever
I think people
comes
listen
next.
to Aventura too much. That's why.
Yeah.
Romeo Santos. You know that in that song that he says, "Un clavo saca el otro clavo." So I
Yes.
think people be trying to do
I
that.
honestly
Yeah.
do, but what do you
Yeah.
think about that though? Because not gonna lie, I do think it is for I mean, even for
Yeah.
me in the past, it was easy to forget somebody while being with someone else, but then there's a period
Hmm.
where in that new relationship you start to reminisce on things from the other person.
Yeah.
Like I feel like for me that's how it was. Like at the beginning you meet this person,
Hmm.
you're moving on, okay, forget about this guy,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. You're happy, you're going through this new honeymoon stage and like you're happy go
Hmm.
lucky, and then there's it reaches a point where now it's like a serious relation, like
Hmm.
now love isn't just the only thing that is going to get you through. It's going
Yeah.
to be like now you have to really commit to this, and like it's like love is a decision now, you know, like you have to really decide to
Yeah.
be in this relationship. You start to get to know these person's
Hmm.
flaws and this person like in a more different
Hmm.
way, that like that's where you start to reminisce on the other person. I feel like that's kind of what happened to me, where and I told this person, I remember I was like, listen, I don't know why, but I still miss my ex and I don't want to drag you
Yeah. Yeah.
along.
Well,
Like
what he said when you told him that?
he really
He
wanted
said
to keep pursuing
he
it.
still wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
I would have dumped you right there. I would have been like, it's done. All over.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're in your head, you're like, damn, like we've been talking for 3 months or dating
Exactly.
for 3 months, and you're thinking about this person now.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was weird because it's like it drags you out of that rut for a
Hmm.
second, and then out of nowhere I was like, yeah, I'm not over that person. Like I if I was to see that person right now walking right
Hmm.
past us, I would feel some type of way.
Hmm.
And I shared that with him, and he was like, no, I think we should still try, like
Yeah.
eventually it'll go away. And so I didn't really listen to more of what I should have listened
Yeah.
to, which was like, nah, I think we need to cut it out. I just listened to, okay, yeah, like
Mhm.
I guess it probably will go that way. I was also very afraid of standing up for myself or like putting my foot down on certain
Mhm.
things or setting certain boundaries. So I just kind of like felt like if I continue to say no to him, he's going to be hurt that I'm
Yeah.
saying that I'm cutting him off. And so I just kept going. And eventually, yeah, like we ended up being together for a year and a half, but still like there was just something there for that other person and it
Mhm.
fucked it up. Like it just
It's because he was like a backup. So
yeah,
like he was
like
like
a
a backup.
rebound.
He was like a
Yeah.
rebound. So it wasn't gonna work. I mean, you should have been honest from the beginning. I
Yeah.
feel like honesty, like it hurts right away, but at least it's like a one time. But
No, of
when you lie,
course.
it's like it keeps like hurting.
But like I don't know if it started off as a lie for me or if I didn't realize that it would have been a lie, like cuz in the moment it
Hmm.
feels great getting to know somebody new. And that's the part where I
I
feel like
mean,
a
it's
lot
better
of
than being
people,
home crying and sad.
yeah.
At least you out there.
And being a 15, 14-year-old, I don't
Yeah.
feel like I had enough
Hmm.
consciousness enough to be like, this is wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like for me it was just kind of like moving from one to the next
Hmm.
without realizing how hurt or the things, the feelings that we're bottling in
Hmm.
or adding up to. So that's kind of like what happened.
Hmm.
But now moving forward from all
Yeah.
that shit, like it got to a point where we just kind of
Hmm.
like forgot about it and we were like, hey, like how are you, how you
Hmm.
been? And we've been in the same friend group, we've been just super nonchalant with each other. He knows that I'm talking to someone. We even talk about like certain things with like our new
Yeah.
relationships or if we open up to someone new. um and he'll tell me, mainly it's me who I'm always like opening up to him, and he's like, yeah, like sometimes I just take my time with certain relationships or certain people. We talked about his past relationship. It's just very platonic and neutral.
Well, maybe platonic from your side though. But I
Maybe.
don't know the guy, but I'm not a therapist. But I always say the guy still has feelings for you,
Yeah.
and if you wanted to have something with him, he would have been willing to have something with you. I think he just doesn't want to let go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like if you
Hmm.
were there and you were like, "Hey, kiss me," I'm sure he would kiss you. Like, so I think it's
But
platonic just from your side, not from his side. Yeah.
all right, well that's a solid point to make, honestly, because I
Hmm.
get it. Sometimes when guys are, I've heard it before, like guys are your friends up until they're given an opportunity. Is
Very
that
true.
true?
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Very true. For sure.
Damn,
Yeah, yeah.
Gio.
Like honestly, like I mean, I don't think like let's say like if I had a girl and she was cool with some dude, like I wouldn't like that
No.
because I know the dude. If she gave him the chance, he would do something with her. You
But does
know.
that say you're not secure in yourself?
No, it doesn't mean it's being honest. It's being truth. It's like I don't know. It's like leaving your car wide open with your wallet inside and not expecting someone to pass by and steal your wallet. It's like that. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
But like me going through
I think
therapy,
I think I think it's being insecure, not being able to say no and put your boundaries.
uh-huh.
That's being insecure and being a coward. But I feel
Yeah.
like a guy who's secure will let his girl know, be like, hey, I don't want you to be friends with them. This is the truth.
But then what are you saying? What are you saying? Like she can't have any guy friends
No, I mean, yeah, well, she could have but not like a friend like that. Like a guy that she's cool with.
that she
She
used to
tells
date in
like
the
yeah,
past?
she used to date in the past, and she tells the guy like what she's feeling, like what she's
Yeah.
going through and stuff like that. Yeah, because
I could see that.
one day we might fight. You might be sad. He might be like, "Oh, come over my place," and you'll come over,
That
and
sounds
he'll be like, "Oh,
insecure
here I'll
though.
hug you and stuff,"
Like you can't live in that mindset though, because
No,
then yeah, it could
it's
come
not,
true, you
it's not
know?
being insecure. Like I would let you know, like you don't have to do it. But if you don't want to do it, like I'll just leave. Like I wouldn't date
Yeah,
you. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah, like I feel like to a certain extent I can agree, because me being a girl, I could put myself in those shoes, and if it was the
Like
opposite
yeah,
way
yeah. How would you
around,
like if there was a girl I was cool with, that I would tell her like everything? That I wouldn't come
yeah.
to you. I would go to her. Let's say I was feeling some type of way,
Yeah,
and I
like
was telling my friend how I felt and not you.
well, no, then that's
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
That's different. Like if my partner is going to their ex but not coming to me first, then that's no, that's a
Yeah,
red
yeah.
flag. That's definitely a red flag, because I feel like that means that yeah, you definitely don't trust who you're with, so why are you with them to begin with?
Mhm.
You should be able to talk anything out with that person. Now, from the perspective of like you still talking to that person, you still talking to your partner, but still going over and sharing that with your ex,
Mhm.
if you're looking at it that way, then yeah, it comes off like
And not only that, like people get jealous. Like I feel like let's say like I don't know, I have a friend that's a girl, right? And she
mhm.
sees that I'm dating you. Like she's gonna feel some type of way. And for some reason I'm gonna look more appealing to her just because I'm dating you.
And
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
another thing.
And then
Why is it that
she's
when
gonna be drawn to that. So
why?
and then
Why are women
temptation is
like
gonna
that?
happen.
Or even men?
So will you want me to be cool with some girl, especially my ex? And that happens because it has happened to me.
Yeah.
Like I had an ex, and then I started dating a girl, and then for some reason the girl wants me back. It's
Your
like
ex wanted
yeah,
you
yeah.
back.
It's like I seem
Why
more
is
appealing.
that? Yeah, like I remember I've had this conversation before at work.
Well, it's easy. It's because girls want what they can't
What
have.
they can't have,
Yeah.
right? And that's in general. I feel like men and women. Like
Well, no, not men.
why? Why
Um,
not men?
I feel like girls, guys. I feel like guys want like power.
They want power.
Yeah, yeah, like
So
they like you get what I'm saying. Like
wouldn't that make them want what they can't have? Because it's like if I can have it, then that's more power for me. Like more power to me.
that that's
You know,
that
like if
yeah.
she can, if I can have her leave that guy, I'm the
Oh, for
powerful
sure.
one. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
mean?
But the guy's gonna feel he's gonna feel good. So
Yeah.
it's like a thing to his ego.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right, right,
yeah, yeah.
right. I don't know. I
She's
feel
like,
like
yeah.
this this in this generation it's harder to find a solid partner. There's so much going on that we've like I don't know, like we don't really commit to somebody, or if we do commit to somebody, it starts off so rocky, and that
Mhm.
was one of the questions I had in my list. Like, do you think it would be like the first year of a relationship should be rocky, getting to know somebody, or should it feel like the honeymoon stage, like how, most people are like always like, hey, I want to see you, what are you doing, what are you up to, good morning, good night, and like all this and all that, and they want to be like on top of each other all the time?
Yeah.
Or should it, like, do you think it's better that it starts rocky because you start to get to know the other person more and what they're into, and like it's
Like
two different universes that you're
like
colliding?
what do you mean Rocky? That you guys like fight a lot? Like
Not fight a lot, but like, because it's two
yeah, yeah.
different people, like I feel like now as a 24
Mm-hmm.
year old, um getting into adult relationships is a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
different than what I was
You're
used to.
24?
I'm 24.
Oh, okay, cool.
And because I have a routine, I have goals, I have
Mm-hmm.
boundaries, like I feel like there's people who aren't going to see me in the same, like they're not going to be the same person
Mm-hmm.
as me. They're going to have their own routine, their own goals, and they're only going to be able to give you a certain amount of time, and maybe I have more free time. And it's like that's where it gets rocky, because it's like, okay, well now I want these needs, but you
Mm-hmm.
can't give me those needs right now because you have your own goals, and I don't want to seem like, that's the kind of rocky that I mean, like where you kind of have to find a balance for
Yeah,
your life to fit into this person's and that person to fit into yours. Do you think that's how it should start, or do you think it should
but
start off?
boy, I'm stressed. You stress me out.
Like,
Um,
what do you think? How do
yeah,
you
I
think?
feel like none. Like I feel like neither. I feel like I feel like it's maybe this generation is because like every like people go for what is like kind of like flashy, you know, like
They
people.
do,
Yeah.
in a way, yeah.
But like nothing is perfect. Like life is not perfect. Like it shouldn't be like a honeymoon either because like you know like if it's too much as of like a honeymoon, like you really won't get to know each other. Like you won't get to know each other's flaws,
Right.
and then the moment like stuff goes sour, you're gonna be like, oh, what happened with this person? Oh, this person
Yeah,
changed with me. Like, oh, this is not the person
that I
that I
know.
dated. You
Yeah,
know?
I know exactly what you mean.
And it shouldn't be rocky because like you know as adults like you guys shouldn't like fight, like you guys should understand each other, like this isn't like I don't own you and you don't own me, like you know
Mhm.
this is like I guess a relationship should be something that you know you come together, you understand each other, um and you want to work together, and you want to be like loyal to each other, but but it shouldn't be like, you know, if you guys are fighting a lot and it's rocky, that means you guys don't understand each other. So you guys
Right.
shouldn't be together
Okay.
because it's not
Okay.
working. It's like trying to force something, and nothing
Like,
should be.
should it feel
Yeah, nothing should be forced. You
okay?
know, like it should be natural.
Okay.
I mean, know that you know no one is perfect, but I shouldn't be like, hey, I need you to do this for me. Well, I feel
Yeah.
like you have to come out with me, like you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like if you're busy, I'll be like, okay, that's cool, babe, do your thing, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as long as you're busy, like you're working or something like that, you're not
Right.
hanging out with your ex. Oh, you get
But
what I'm
then you
saying?
just said
But then,
something about
but
not
then,
owning each other.
yeah, but then it's like we gotta talking about transformation, like you know, like life, like everything in the universe is constantly moving. Like nothing stays
Yes.
the same. If you're not trying to improve or you're not trying to move, like you're getting worse, you're getting weaker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you're
Yeah.
getting so if you're doing something like that, and 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 I got nothing to do, that means I'm not doing anything with my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like while you're doing your thing, I should be doing my thing, whatever it is.
Exactly.
And if
Yes.
I'm always constantly telling you like, hey babe, we need to do this, or I'm complaining because we're not spending enough time together, that means I don't have my life right.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
means I'm being a bump and I'm being home doing nothing. Or you know, or playing video games and
Yeah. Like
stuff.
you have to be in your own
Yeah,
secure,
yeah.
in your own security, like knowing that, like, hey, she's doing her thing. She's,
Yeah,
she's keeping it 100 with me no matter what, whether she's busy or not. And
it's like me, I always have something to do. I'm busy 24/7. I
good.
literally work 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
shown homes like at 1 in the morning. Like before I met up with you, like I was like making appointments and stuff.
Oh my
People
God.
were
I'm
calling me and
surprised you had
stuff.
time during a Wednesday.
Well, that's cool. You get to make your own like schedule. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like today,
So
I told myself, I was like, I'm going to do this early and then
you
head into
know,
the office, make some calls, and then go to the restaurant. Because
like
right now, I'm trying to balance out that whole server life and becoming a real estate. And I just started. And what really pays for my living is
yeah,
this serving job.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
have to make sure that even though I go to work at 4, I still dedicate like that
Uh-huh.
commitment to becoming a real estate agent. Because eventually, I know it'll get there.
Yeah, I'll tell you. When I first got my license, I started going to like random like open houses,
Yeah.
and like I was curious, so I went to see mansions by
Yeah.
myself. I went to Mendham, I went to Chester, and I was just going in looking at mansions. Um, And I remember I went to some open house and there was like an Indian real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
And every time I went to an open house, like I would ask the agent, I'd be like, hey, I just started in real estate. Can you give me an advice? How could I make it in real estate? And she's like, hey, just know that real estate is like an elephant. Like it's slow to take off, but if you stick to it, eventually it will take off.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
And I hear it also comes in waves,
Yeah, yeah,
you
definitely.
know?
It's like the economy. It's like there's
And
good times,
damn.
like when it's like a buffet, and then there's bad times when it's like famine. Like you're
Yeah.
starving. I've had good. Like I started like in a good year. I started like so I started 20. When was the pandemic? Like 2021, I think. Yeah,
2021.
yeah. So my first year, I made top 10 in my office, but it was a
Wow.
good time to be there because everybody
Yeah.
was buying. So
Damn.
so I got lucky. I had like
Yeah.
a good start.
Yeah, everyone says like you came in at a
Yeah,
rough
yeah.
time, dude.
Now it's rough. Now
And
it's
I was
like
like, damn.
honestly, like I just focus on listings.
Yes.
I do a lot of I do a lot of rentals,
Mhm.
but I don't even focus on buyers that much because
Yeah.
they're a waste of time. Like I had like one buyer that I've been working with him for like 2 months. Offers haven't been getting accepted. The offer finally got accepted, and the dude like he backs out. He's like, oh, you know what? I decided I want to buy a restaurant instead. Like, I'm like, are you
Wow.
serious? Like, we've been working together for like 3 months, throwing offers. They haven't been getting accepted.
Yeah.
One finally gets accepted, and you decide to like back out. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So
It and that's
I
the
dropped them.
thing with being like a real estate agent. You have to be so
Yeah, yeah.
patient. So
Well,
patient.
I'm patient, but I'm straight up. I drop clients.
Yeah.
Like I
No,
remember
of
when I
course. You
first
don't want to waste your
started.
time either.
I remember when I first started, like, and this. So my first client, I dropped my first client.
Oh my
Yeah, yeah. So
god.
it's funny thing. My first client, I dropped him, um, because he didn't want to offer above asking price.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, like that's the listing price. We got to go hard. Like you can't go 10K above asking price because that's what everybody starts off with. If you really like the house, you got to go like 20K and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, if I see a house, I'm not gonna offer more than what they're asking. And I'm like, dude, you serious? Like you seen what we've been through? I explained everything to you, and you still going with this? I'm like, hey, listen, I'm sorry, but I think it's best for you to find another real estate agent because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be wasting my time, especially when I told you how things are and you seen how things are. And yeah, that's it. I dropped them.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
And
It
then
happens.
fuck it. Everybody because I started realty executives, right? And I remember I started in a team, right? I remember my team leader was like, "Oh yeah, dude, how you gonna do that?" Everybody at the office was calling me stupid for doing that. But I'm like,
For doing what?
for dropping that client
Oh,
because I
okay.
just started and I
Yeah,
dropped my
yeah.
first client. But my time is valuable. Like I
Yeah.
go 110%.
For anybody
But
who's
yeah, yeah,
gonna go
but yeah,
110% with
but I
you.
won't waste my time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. But fuck it. Like a week later, I got the listing. That listing that I showed you. You
Perfect.
know.
Yeah. No, and some things work out, some things don't. What I've
And then let me tell you, and then like 2 months, 3 months later, I left that team. I'm like, oh, I don't need this team. I can just
yeah.
do it by myself. Why am I in a team?
Yeah.
I get my
And you
own
know what?
clients
When I first
bounced.
started looking into like real estate, I was like, I have to be a part of a team in order to make it.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. But just being mentored by Ernesto, I was like, you know what? It's not so bad if I just do this like on my own
Mhm.
and have him watch my shoulder while I do certain things or teaching me certain things. And honestly, I
Yeah.
kind of like it. I'm kind of better. I feel like I'm better off being on my own than starting off with the team because who knows? Like
Mhm.
felt like maybe I would have felt like if I was on the team and I started and then I wanted to do it by myself, I
Yeah. Yeah.
probably wouldn't have,
Yeah.
I would have felt
A
tied to
lot
the
of people
team.
stay to the team. Like
Yeah.
people that I started are still in that team,
Yeah.
and I've sold way more than they have sold.
Yeah.
You know.
Like it might have held me back.
And I tell you why. It's because you learn to depend on the
Yes.
team instead of depending on
Exactly.
yourself. Yeah,
Exactly. And
yeah.
that's what I didn't want. So I was like, you know what? I'm kind of glad I did it
So
by myself.
there's a lot of stories I could tell you. Some I can't share in the video because I
Yeah.
could get in trouble. But I had some interesting stories.
Hey, do you believe in horoscopes? I know that's a big thing in today's generation.
Uh,
Like was that ever a thing for you when you dated or even now when you date? Do people go like, "Oh, that's such a Leo thing."
nah. I mean, I remember seeing Walter Mercado when I was
Oh
younger on
my god,
Univision, but
Walter Mercado.
I never got into it. I mean, some people ask me like, hey, what horoscope are you? I'm a Sagittarius, by the way.
Okay.
So yeah, but I don't know. I never really got into it, because I feel like like you make your own destiny.
Exactly.
So I don't
Yes.
like to rely on the stars or anything like that. I kind of like to
I
rely on
do a
myself.
little bit to a certain
Uh,
extent. But I
So
agree. I
yeah.
definitely do think you make your own destiny. I feel like certain things that I see on my co-star, like
Hmm.
this app that like talks about your horoscope
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff, some things relate to me and then some things just don't make any sense.
Like yeah, like the only thing I rely on is God. So I try to be good with God, and as long as I have God by my side, I'm good.
So when it comes to religion and being in a relationship, do
Oh,
you
let me tell
think
you, I wanted to tell you. So my dad, when he was out here, like he was like, so I was born a Catholic, like of
okay,
course, because I'm Colombian. All Colombians are Catholics, right? They're born, well, the majority of them. So, but my dad, when he was here, he was like a Christian. Well, not a Christian. What is it like? What's the
Jehovah's
proper name?
Witness?
He was Jehovah Witness, and he was like, what's the other one like Christian, like
Uh
Cristianos, like what is that like? It has another name. But yeah, so
yeah.
I kind of been like and all that, and I'm curious. I kind of read into like Buddha. I kind of looked into like the Quran, like the Muslim and stuff like that.
Okay.
So and I do it because I feel like it's good to like see what's out there, get the different point of views, and then at the end of the day, like you make your own point of view.
Yes.
And I read like a good portion of the Bible, like by myself. I read a
Wow.
couple of books.
And did you like it?
Yeah, out of
Yeah.
curiosity. Like I feel like a lot of people should do it because I
Yeah.
feel like the mistake that people have is like they go to church, they let like the pastor read it, and the pastor is like, oh, let's
Choosing
read
a
this verse,
section, yeah.
and this verse it means like this and that. But like if you read the Bible, like the Bible is actually like a story, and it tells like if you read it from the beginning to like the end, it's like a story. I read I'm sorry if I can't pronounce it, like Ecclesiastes, like Proverbs, like I read like 4 books from like the New Testament. I did like and then 5 books in the Old Testament, 4 books from the New Testament, and yeah, and 5 books in from like the Old Testament. And I'm still reading it because I my goal is to like finish reading the Bible from like the start to the finish, you
Wow.
know. But I feel like it's good because like you read it as a story, and you kind of like understand,
Interpret it.
like yeah, like I mean you
Yeah.
understand it better because
Yeah.
when you go to church, like you're reading like or you're listening to like the priest. But the Bible is really just a story. There's no message like, oh, how could you apply like this verse?
Yes, and
No,
I feel
no,
like that's what
yeah,
they always
no,
do. And like
yeah.
for me, I had to venture out with religion too because I started off
Hmm.
Jehovah's Witness. I don't really remember much of it, but then
Yeah.
we moved into the Catholic religion and I hated the masses how long
Hmm.
they were. Like 3
Yeah.
hours long and I'm like this isn't for me. I don't like it. Then I started
Hmm.
to real like once I became a little bit older, I started to realize that like I didn't have a mind of my own. Like I felt like my destiny was what God wanted for me. And if I lied, if I stole, if I, did any of those things,
Yeah.
I was fucked. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I'm fucked. Like, I'm going to hell. There's no way I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
And it kept messing up my own, like,
Hmm.
destiny, like what I wanted to do for myself. I was like, well, if I believe in God, then God is gonna tell like God is leading my life. Like I'm not leading my life. It's God that's pushing me in the paths that I'm going to. And I'm
Right.
just making these mistakes and it's like proving to him that I'm not ready to go to heaven. Um and so it kind of ruined it for me that I started to like really venture out and I was like, you know
Hmm.
what? I don't want God to be the one that leads my life.
Hmm.
Like I want to take charge of my life and I want to be able to make my own destiny and like be able to set out um the kind of goals and the kind of like
Hmm.
life that I want in my future. And once my mom passed away, when she first started to get sick, I was
Hmm.
already kind of like getting into this like crystals and like
Hmm.
looking into like tarot cards and like seeing mediums and stuff like that. And all of that is like shit that the
Yeah.
religions don't like. They're like, no, that's all devil shit.
Yeah.
But for me, I was just like, I just want to know. I'm curious
Hmm.
because like, why is it, that we call it all devilish and shit? Like, what if it's just like a way for some people to get their own religion started or their own beliefs going? Um, and then there was like angel cards,
Hmm.
and I started getting into Buddhism, like seeing what Buddhists used to do and like how they meditate and
So,
stuff.
so Buddha like it is good, like and I respect it, but I feel like Buddha is like kind of like it's like you kind of retreat, because like Buddha people like they don't want to participate in life. Like the people who become like Buddha, like they kind of shave, they shave everything, and they kind
Yeah,
of just go and be peaceful. But I feel like you gotta take part in life. Like
yeah.
even though it could be painful, sometimes you suffer, but that's what life is. But you can't just retreat from life and not live.
Yeah, I don't, and
So
see, I don't know that much about their religion. I just know kind of how they perceive meditation.
yeah.
Because when I was reading a book about just everything is fucked
So
by
yeah.
Mark Manson, it talked about a little bit about their meditation sessions and how instead of not thinking of anything,
Hmm.
you think of all your thoughts, but you have it in like a third person point of view.
It's like let's see if I remember. Like it's like they say to not desire things. Like that's not
Yeah,
like
to
to not
like have
desire, to not want.
to just
You
let it
know,
be.
yeah, a little
Kind
bit, but
of.
I feel like like some like yeah, desire like it's like a double-edged sword. Like it kind of sucks when you don't get it, but you kind of need desires because like desire is like what kind of like helps you grow. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like
Like
goals kind
yeah,
of.
like I'm
Yeah,
sure
like
you want to be like a badass real estate agent, and that's like
yeah.
your desire,
That's
but
my
you need
desire.
that because that's like that pushes you to like grow and be
Exactly.
better. So
Yeah. And see, this is where like people have all these different perspectives
mhm,
that I feel like are so necessary to talk about for others to know
mhm,
that everyone sees things differently and without judgment be able to open up to those kinds of things,
yeah,
because you these are the kind of conversations that I needed as a kid instead of being drilled down to one certain
mm,
thing that then in turn just made me realize like holy shit, like I'm such a bad person because
mm,
I stole this, or
what do
because
you
I lied
steal?
to this person, or because I
Yeah,
said this,
yeah,
or and just like all these little things that led me to not
mhm,
feel like myself or like grow into who I wanted to be. And I learned that like growing up and being older and having questions and asking those questions to people who weren't just Catholic or who weren't just religious, but like who were atheists or who believed in something but didn't know what that something was. And it's just good to like have, that's why I started this podcast, because
yeah,
it's just good to hear what other
yeah.
people have to say. So when it comes to religion and love, do you think somebody has to be in the same religion as you, or do you think that they're allowed to have like whatever they believe in and you're open to it?
Yeah, first of all, like everybody's journey is different. Like everybody's life is unique. Like you
Yeah.
went through stuff that only you went through, and I went through stuff that only like I went through. And I feel like when it comes to religion, it's like a personal like journey. Like everybody gotta find God like in their way. And I never try to push it on anybody.
Yeah.
And so I'm like that. So I don't try to push my beliefs on people. So I feel like if I could date a woman that has like a different belief, I mean, the only type of woman I wouldn't be able to date is like a satanic woman, like like devil worshiper. But I
What
could
about an atheist? Somebody who doesn't believe in anything.
like there. I haven't dated an atheist, but I feel like if I dated an atheist, like I think she might end up becoming a believer of God.
A believer of
Yeah,
God.
yeah. Not because like I'm trying to push it on her, but it's because like
Just the way you practice.
yeah, because like
Yeah.
how can you not believe in God? Like how can you
Yeah.
believe that you just exist just to exist? And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something interesting.
Yeah.
Like people could say like, oh yeah, I don't believe in God, right? God doesn't exist, right? But I'm sure the moment that you're about to die, that's when you get scared and you start believing in God.
You think
Yeah,
so?
I think that got to be like the scariest moment. Like you're about to die and
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
holy shit, where am I gonna go? What's gonna
Yeah,
happen
what
with me?
does
Like
heaven actually exist?
yeah.
Does
So it's
hell
like,
actually exist?
I mean, because I don't want to die, but I guess like I could say like I mean I wouldn't be scared to die as long as it's not painful. But I'm sure like the moment that I'm about to die, I would start feeling more scared. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just like
I mean like death is scary to think about,
mm-hmm,
right? Because you see death all around you almost every day. You hear about somebody, fucking dying from a motorcycle
mm-hmm,
accident, or COVID happened and there was so the death toll was just insane. Um but it's just like a part of life, and like from the books that I
mm-hmm.
read, it's like you have to look at death like because we're going to die one day. Do all the things that you want to get done. Like knowing
Yeah,
that death is inevitable, and because it's inevitable, live to the biggest, like who the fuck is here to, like, why are we going to listen to judgment or
mm-hmm,
what people have to say? Especially even now with this podcast, sometimes I get a little nervous when people, like, this is my first one outside,
yeah,
and just seeing everybody walk around, it's like I know they're definitely like what the hell are they doing, but to me it's like who cares.
yeah. Plus it's
Because
beautiful outside.
yeah,
It's nice and
at
fresh.
some point somebody has to step out of their comfort
Yeah,
zone
yeah.
and bring somebody else with them, and I feel like me having the mindset that I have is attracting all the
Mm-hmm,
right things for me. And I feel like that's my own take on my own religion or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like everything that I set out for myself, in turn, it finds its full circle back to me because of the effort that I'm putting into it. Same thing with real estate. Like,
Mm-hmm,
the more time and effort you put into it, it comes into fruition. And it's just about not
Mm-hmm.
giving it up. Same thing with anything in life. Like, don't give up on whatever it is that you believe in, whatever goal you want to get to. You have this set mindset of being a millionaire, you're gonna get there. If you want to be a millionaire, you're
Yeah.
gonna find ways to be a millionaire. And that's kind of like where my religion
Mm-hmm.
stands. I don't think that there's naturally somebody up there judging everything that you do, you
Yeah, I don't
know?
think so either.
But I do think there is a higher power.
Yeah, it could be like the universe itself.
Yeah,
Like the universe could be God.
right.
Of
And then it's just like the energy you put out is the energy you get back in anything. And
course.
even in your own mindset, like the kind of thoughts you give yourself, you feed yourself is the
Yeah.
same exact thing that you're gonna get in reality. But yeah, I was gonna ask you also, gift giving is a love language, quality time is a love language, words of affirmation, acts of service, and I think there's like one more. But so these are all like love languages that I've learned to kind of like do a love language test to where like it tells me which of the you have all of them. All of
Yeah.
them are your love languages, but there's some that are a little bit more than others. So like for me, it's quality time. Quality time is like my top one. I have to be able to have some quality time with my partner to feel like I'm being loved and love is being reciprocated back and forth. The next one would be for me acts of service, and then words of affirmation, and then gift giving. So gift giving is like my last thing. Like I don't care if you give me a gift or not. Like that's not how I perceive you love me or
Yeah.
I love you. Like I don't give gifts in order for me to show you that I love you. It's mainly like quality time. So for you, what do you think your love language would be?
But that's a good question. Well, to me overall, the most important like thing is time. I think time is very valuable because you
Okay.
can't like bring time back. Um,
So quality time
So
would
yeah, I
be your
would say
first
like
one.
quality time, like the time that you spend with a person, because like time like takes effort. Like anybody could go to a store and buy anything and just wrap it up, right? But let's say like someone like like maybe your girl like making breakfast for you, like getting up in the morning, making breakfast for you with
Yeah.
love, that's valuable.
That's quality
Yeah,
time for
yeah.
you. Okay, yeah, I agree. I agree. Like quality time, I feel like it's a big one for a lot of people because it just shows that that person and you are on the same
Yeah,
page when
yeah.
it comes to loving each other.
And I always say if a girl like values more the fact that you give her gifts than anything else, then that girl is not with you because she loves you or she likes you. That girl's just using you.
But do you think that's
That's
just
what I would
your
say.
yeah, like do you think that's just you, how you feel cuz
Mhm.
there's some people who are they don't even need to be giving gifts. They're the or giving gifts. They're the ones that love to give gifts.
Well, I think if it's a girl doing it, it's okay. But if the girl's expecting the
I
guy to always give
know.
her gifts, and I've seen it a lot, the girl is using you, right? She's not with you to be with you.
Oh my god, yeah. What do you think is worse, being emotionally hurt or physically hurt?
Um, well, definitely, I would say, I mean, it depends because, I mean, if you get like an arm cut off, like that hurts way more than like getting your heart broken, for
Yeah.
example. But
No, yeah,
I
but when
guess
it
it
comes to
it
love,
depends what kind of physical pain you're talking about.
like when it comes or does it go hand in hand? Like for example, when it comes to love, would
Cause I
cheating
gotten
be worse cuz that's physical or
yeah,
would gaslighting be worse cuz
yeah,
that's
yeah, cause I
emotional?
do mixed martial arts, so I got in like uppercut, and that shit hurt.
No,
That
of
shit makes your
course.
whole skeleton shake. Like there's nothing like getting beat up and shit. So,
But yeah,
um,
what do you
I
think?
guess it depends. I guess like emotional pain is like longer, will last longer. Like physical pain is shorter, and you heal faster.
Yeah.
So I would say emotional pain because it could last longer.
Yeah, emotional pain, I think
Yeah.
so too. I feel like, yeah, physical pain still leaves an emotional scar
Mhm.
because you go back, you have like PTSD from it, or
Mhm.
you have like certain, like, emotions from it. But for me, I do think emotional pain
Yeah, yeah.
is definitely hard as fuck.
And especially if you don't know how to deal with it, because some people don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, or
So
they don't
some
seek
people take
help.
like destructive like forms or actions.
Yeah,
So
yeah, just after dealing
your
with
phone
something
good?
so
Your
hard.
phone's not getting wet?
No, so I put that there because I don't want the microphone part to
Oh,
get
okay,
wet,
okay, got
but
you.
I think everything else should be good.
Got you.
Um, And then just to wrap it up, really, um, I have two more questions.
Yeah.
What are your hell no's and your hell yes? And then the vulnerability level. Do you think men should be vulnerable, more vulnerable, or do you think it should take time? Or what is your perspective on vulnerability when it
Well,
comes to men? Because
well,
women are pretty vulnerable, I would say.
well, I don't know. I grew up in different times. Where I had like a tougher life, you know, and I know people nowadays like they have it easier, you know. So I feel like the values have
In what
changed.
sense? Have it easier in what sense?
Well, what?
Like, what do you mean now we have it more easier?
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. Like um, I don't know. Like I give you an example. Like all right, I was raised like let's say like you know I live with let's say I live with my mom and my sister, right?
Yeah.
And it's snowing outside, it's a storm, right? Like I was raised like, hey, even if I don't feel like it, like you know, I'm like the man of the house, so I got to go outside and shovel the snow. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
Like I feel like now, like you know, guys are being taught like, hey, you know, they don't feel like doing it, so you know, like they shouldn't do it, you know,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
that.
I've heard this quote that says, hard times create strong men create good times, and good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I think one thing, for example, like I feel like the humanity or like the human beings,
Yeah.
we're very adaptable. Like, you know, if you put us, I don't know, if right now, like, there's a plane and I tell you, Alondra, you know, we have to get out of here quickly because, you know, I don't know, they're about to blow up the place. I'm sure, like, you know, you'll put your mind to it. And even if you never flew like an airplane before, I'm sure you'll fly that shit, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, like now is like people being like, hey, you know, that's too tough. And I feel like, yeah, like, you know, when someone is like tough, like, you know, because life life is not perfect. You're gonna have ups and downs. So when you're tough, like, you know, you're ready to take on those tough times. Like you won't break down easily, you know, and I guess like if anything, like, you know, like
Yeah, especially also like now with social media and like
hmm
seeing everything on social media, like that they kind of like dictates how you
yeah.
perceive certain relationships or anything really, any political
And
views or that really fucks you up and it makes you so weaker, so much weaker because you're so stuck behind.
and I tell you something, I think like talking about weak men, I think those people like who like don't I don't know you know how you hear like crazy stories about like oh like a guy like a girl broke up with a guy and the guy like kills the girl
Yeah.
because I feel like those are weak men
Oh
people that don't
yeah.
know how to deal with like their emotions
Emotions.
so
Yeah.
like they're weak you know they're like oh my god my girlfriend just broke up with me
I'm gonna
and they
go
give
fucking
into
stab
like the
her.
feeling you know it's like I'm
Yeah.
mad you know and they do crazy like shit like that but a guy that is tough you know like he's like he'll understand he's like okay listen my girlfriend just broke up with me and it's okay she could love whoever she wants you know my shit is like I'll suck it up and I'll just move on.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right,
You know,
right.
you keep it
As it
safe. You
should be.
know, the girl
Yeah.
gets to move on and be happy, and the guy gets to move on and be happy, and no crazy shit happens. But when you
Right.
have a weak dude, that's when tragedy shit happens. You
No,
know,
I definitely
point made.
agree.
So
So then with vulnerability, do you
yeah,
think you no do okay, even just
hmm
that specific example of like somebody hurting you and having to move on from that pain, right? Does it make you um less vulnerable with the next relationship or like less available, emotionally available in the beginning, I would say, because eventually if you're going to stick it out with
yeah,
somebody,
yeah,
you have to be vulnerable, right? Like you have to be open to having tough conversations about emotions that you're normally not used to opening up about, like especially when it comes to how that other person made you feel.
yeah,
And then if you're starting to get these feelings with this person and you don't open up about them, you don't get vulnerable
yeah,
about it, then that's where shit starts to get rough,
yeah, yeah.
and rocky. Would you say there's levels of vulnerability, or are you from the jump,
I
you
say,
let it all
I
out?
say, hell no. I feel like if a girl breaks up with me, I'll go to La Cantina. You know, I'll sing a little bit, drink a little bit, but then that's it. You know, I meet a girl and it's a new start. You know, a new beginning.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
in
gonna
that
bring.
new beginning, are you vulnerable? Are you willing to be vulnerable, or
Oh,
do you think no, that's
no,
not a
it's
thing?
not a thing.
No,
No, no,
no.
no. I mean,
Why?
I I don't know.
I feel like I'm such a like
No,
I'm such a I share so much of my vulnerability that like if you were getting somebody that's sharing your vulnerability, what's stopping you from sharing
but
yours?
that kind of. I mean, if you're, I guess like if let's say we're dating and you start talking to me about your ex or the shit that you went with
Oh
when your ex,
no,
that means you still have some type of feeling
no.
for him. So I would be like, hey, listen, I
Not
don't think it'll work
vulnerability
out.
like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
vulnerability in the sense of you having to go through something
Mm-hmm.
that, for example, i got I got to a point where I was dating this person or talking to this person, and I was sharing my vulnerability, like the things that used to hurt me in the past in a different relationship, without mentioning the
Mm-hmm.
relationship. Just like,
Like what?
for example, me being so attached to my person in the
Mhm.
past and having relationships where we always spend so much time,
Mhm.
and then having to get used to somebody who now has, you know, their shit all the way together and has their own routine and is working on so many things, and then me feeling like insecure, that insecure
Mhm.
attachment of, oh, like, is this person like doing something behind my back, only because I was so used to lies
Mhm.
or people doing really stupid shit behind my back, and then in turn making me a little bit more scared of what this other new person could do, right? So
Yeah.
I had to share that, and that was
Mhm.
vulnerable. Like, that was from, I could have ignored it, I could have kept, you know,
Mhm.
shits and giggles and like, oh, okay, it doesn't matter what you do. But for me, it was important to open up and be vulnerable to this person and share that kind of hurt that I've dealt
Mhm.
with in the past to see where we stand in this new relationship.
Yeah, that's communication right there.
Yeah, to end it, what are
Mhm.
your hell no's and your hell yes
When it comes,
in a relationship?
well, definitely my girl can't be talking to her ex and being cool with her. That's a hell no.
That's a hell no, okay.
And hell yes to quality time.
Hell
Yeah.
yes to quality time. I think my hell no
No.
is not sharing vulnerability.
Mhm.
Definitely my hell no. Like, I feel like I have to have good communication with that
Mhm.
person to build that trust, especially when you get to know someone. Because I usually start with a full 100% trust,
Yeah.
and then it kind of goes down if you fuck it up.
Oh, okay,
For
okay,
some
okay.
people, it's different. They start with no trust
Mhm.
and then they build their way up.
Yeah.
And for me, a hell no would be that. For a hell yes, quality time.
Quality time.
Quality time is a hell
Yeah.
yes. Communication is a hell yes. That's it, really. That's what wraps it up. Is there anything that you would like to share?
Um,
Anything in
this was
regards to
fun.
love, in
Yeah.
regards to real
Yeah.
estate, in regards to you, in regards to religion,
Yeah.
anything that we talked about?
No, this was fun. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Nice. It was
And
good to get to
yeah.
know you because I knew Chelsea, obviously, and Chelsea was so dope. Chelsea
Yeah.
was like the life of the party
Yeah.
during basketball season. So to know that you are literally her
Mhm.
brother and be able to connect with you is just like seeing a totally different side of Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Chelsea's like happy go lucky and you're
Right.
more
Right.
mellow, you're more
Yeah.
calm. But I understood because Chelsea's younger than you, and at the time
No.
we were all so young that like
Mhm.
it was natural to just be happy go lucky and like all
Mhm.
over the place. And
Mhm.
I don't know, she's just the life of the party. That's how I remember her.
Yeah.
She's just always making everybody smile and laugh. But it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. And I usually start with affirmations and end with gratitude,
Mhm.
but we didn't get to do the affirmation, so let's share a point of gratitude that you might have for today.
You go first.
So my point of gratitude would be that regardless of how the weather is outside, I
Mhm.
am so grateful to be able to sit outside and have a
Yeah.
conversation. Um, and even now, when I was coming back home and I was telling you like,
Mhm.
damn, yo, it's raining. I was like, why is it raining? I was getting annoyed. I was like,
Mhm.
why is it raining? Like, I want it to just be nice for summer, but it's like I have to appreciate the fact that I can still enjoy the rain and be thankful for another day and like
Mhm.
be able to sit outside and enjoy even through the little drizzle a conversation with someone, to be
Mhm.
able to post tomorrow and give somebody a different perspective on love, on religion, on everything that we touched today. So it's good. That's my point
That's
of
true.
gratitude.
Yeah, I think the best thing you could do is make the best out of the situation.
Yeah.
That's my advice. My point of gratitude is I'm happy to be alive. I'm
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah.
There's so many people that can't walk, so I'm happy to be healthy and alive and be able to
Yeah,
walk.
seriously.
You know,
Okay. I amen to that for
amen.
sure. Well, thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate
It
you.
was fun. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.